Today we're going to be swapping out the handlebars and controls on a Yamaha Tenere 700, and I couldn't find a lot of online or YouTube content that was going over this process, so we're going to kind of take a shot in the dark and hope that some of the pieces that I have picked out are actually going to work on the Tenere, but let me point you to the floor here so that we can take a look at some of the pieces that we'll be swapping on. So these are the pieces that we will be attempting to add today. This is my first handlebar job, so this isn't meant to necessarily be a tutorial, but I wanted to review some of the parts that I chose. And we will see together if they fit. So I went with a Contour ProTaper motocross bar, and it's a YZ high bend, and I just went to my local shop, and luckily they had lots of different bend types, and so I was able to, bring them outside, mock them up to my bar, and see which one felt close to OEM. So I went with the YZ high bar. And for handlebar guards, I went for the Highway Dirtbike Guards, and this is actually their motocross kit, not their adventure bike kit, because we'll be putting motocross bars on. One of the big reasons that I went for the Highway Dirtbike kit is that they actually come with these mirrors that fold into the handlebar guard. So you can see they have a hinge here, and if you take a spill, they'll actually fold into the guard. And that means I can get rid of those big noisy OEM mirrors as well. So a couple considerations with the Highway Dirtbike bars. You'll have to tap the bar end. So the way that these work is this big 7/8 inch bolt comes through the guard here. And then you'll actually have to tap the bar, and this will thread in. So Highway Dirtbike does include a 7/8 inch tap, and you'll need a pretty hefty tap wrench. And the chuck for this 7/8 inch tap is a 3/8 inch, so you'll need a pretty large tap wrench to accommodate that. And then for grip replacement, I went for the Oxford heated grips. Never had these, but I've heard good things about them. And you'll notice I've started to sand down some of the knurling on this motocross bar because it doesn't quite clear the inside diameter of this bar. You can see where I've tried to get it to fit, but instead of doing more damage to the grip, I'm just gonna sand this down, so that'll be fun. Highway Dirtbike does include a replacement top clamp, and these guards, they provide hardware to actually attach the guard to the top clamp, which is another reason that I'm excited to use these. And then lastly, when you're going to a motocross bar, the OEM bar will have holes drilled in to accommodate pins on the controls for your ignition switch and light switch. The motocross bars don't have that, but this is a little $20 piece that will bolt onto the bar, and then you can see this center nut is actually has a hole running through the middle, and you can use a 3/16 inch drill bit to get a hole exactly where you need it. So it looks like there's some rain on the forecast in Seattle today, but for the time being, we have some all right weather. So I'm gonna get all this stuff down to the street. You can see my bike there, and we can start wrenching on this thing. So this is my workshop for the day. Oh, I hate that I can't put this thing in the garage. It's fall in Seattle, and it is just covered in leaves. So this is pretty much a stock Yamaha Tenere 700. Thank you. The only real additions to the bike are these crash bars, which I put on before the Washington back road discovery route. You can see they prevented a lot of damage. I took a couple spills on this side of the bike. Really need to upgrade these bars that do absolutely nothing. This is a replacement lever because I snapped the brake lever on the wobbler, and the true impetus for this handlebar replacement is that there's a slight bend in the throttle side of the handlebar. So I am going to start removing stuff, and I'll let you know when I run into the inevitable hiccups. Say, these standard Yamaha mirrors, not a big fan. I'm also really not a fan of these big pumpkin blinkers. Those are gonna have to be swapped out soon. Whole bar end came out. I was trying to break this little sucker, but the whole bar end came out. So just got the light control off the bike, super simple. Small little connector here that connects into the clutch lever. But I did want to show you, these are these pins, these controller pins I'm talking about. So you can see in here, this pin in here will slot into this control pin on the bar. So once I get this bar off, I'm gonna have to mock up and see if I can get this hole marked and drilled on my replacement bar. Alright, so in my effort to not mess too much with any of the cabling that's going on in the throttle or in the clutch, I'm actually going to see if I can take off this top clamp piece here to give me a little play, to see if I can wiggle these things. Really good way to break tools. Bars are off, just like that. What I did here, you can definitely see some immediate differences in this bend type. So, one thing is we're definitely gonna have less control room. Overall, these bars are a bit longer, but keep in mind that the OEM bars had the bar end plugs, and so all said and done, I think the moto bars will be a bit shorter. So yes, now becomes the difficult job of matching up these pins to this bar and getting these holes drilled. Probably gonna run upstairs to do that, go to the apartment. All right, so after consulting with a mechanic buddy, we're back outside. I think the easiest thing is going to be to throw the bars back in, throw the controls back on, and the idea is going to be wrap the bar in some masking tape and see if I can get a nice indentation where these pins need to be on the new bar. All right, so that actually worked pretty well. I loosely wrapped the bar in masking tape and went ahead and put the control back on. And again, it's this pin in here that we're drilling the hole for. Put the control on in a place where it felt nice and then squeezed it. And you can maybe see on the footage here, very lightly, we have marked where I need to drill this bar, with the grip distance taken into consideration, the mounting point for the clutch, and position roll-wise. So now I am going to probably just cut myself an X, and so that I can do the other side, remove the tape, remove the controls, and then bring this thing back upstairs so that we can get it drilled. Etched a spot with a razor, and they're a bit unsightly, but they'll be covered up by the controls. Anyways. next step here, I'm gonna see if I can go ahead and tap these. The only sketchy thing is I'm not totally certain. I guess I should probably measure, but I'm just gonna see if I can begin to start. This is the tap that came in the Highway Dirtbike kit. I'm just gonna see if I can start tapping these bar ends. I might have to end up drilling these out, depending. But I'm just gonna try my luck at getting some WD-40 in there and starting these taps. Yeah, so this isn't going very well. So it's the next day. I couldn't figure out the tapping yesterday. I ended up getting a 9/16 drill bit and boring out some of the handlebar material, and couldn't get the tap to work. So I'm gonna go to Harbor Freight today, try maybe getting a step drill bit and maybe seeing if they have a different tap. I'm wondering if the 5/8 inch tap is just not working for me. All right, so I just was at Harbor Freight and I picked up one of these step bits, and I'm a little bit wary of maybe taking out a little too much material here, but I think even if I step one of these maybe like 1/4 inch little sections to 5/8, and it allows me to start the tap at least, then I can tap out the rest and see if we can get these bolts in. So let's see how this goes. All right, so I think this is working. I use the step bit to bring it essentially up to like 5/8, which is a little shady because that's the diameter of the bolt that I'm working with. But this tap does appear to be cutting threads now. So, you know, I'm kind of just doing the classic 3/4 turn to cut, and then 1/4 turn back to cut remove the material back out of the tool. So let's get after it. So I was able to actually get this threaded in. This is exciting, yay. I'm gonna cut about 2 more threads, just to make sure this is able to fully thread in. So I did a little work off camera. Got everything mocked up for the most part here. Now I'm working on running the heated grip terminals back to the battery, zip tying everything, and getting everything mounted up to the bars so that I can glue the grips on. All right, so I went ahead and installed the Oxford grips off camera. Sorry about that. It entailed obviously taking the seat off, wiring up the battery terminals, and really it was just a whole bunch of boring, getting wires to fit appropriately, and I was able to pass the lead just on this side of the tank and then zip tie it to a frame member. And then there's a bundle of wires tucked underneath here that I might have to redo. And I went ahead and just used the included adhesive pad to pop it onto, I think it fits nicely there, it's kind of out of the way. So now, as you can see, I'm in the process of mocking up and getting the Highway Dirtbike guards to fit. And I'm actually finding that I'm removing a bit of this grip because it was catching on the guard. So let's do some of that. All right, so here it is all done. Sorry I got bad about filming towards the end there. It's getting late on a Sunday and I needed to wrap this up. But guards tightened down, controls tightened down. Really all you missed was putting on the plastic covers and getting these mirrors screwed on. There's like a half dome little plastic washer if anyone ends up getting this kit, and that goes inside this little dimple here. Initial impressions of the mirror, not a big fan. Obviously I need to write it, but take a look. There is new handlebars, heated grips, and Highway Dirtbike guards installed. It does fit, and I'm psyched to go ahead and try it out. One other note, this was confusing to me. There's a couple different pieces of hardware sent with the Highway Dirtbike kit. I ended up using these shoe-shaped ones. I think they send you a couple different pieces just to accommodate multiple types of geometry, but I'm glad these ones are a bit smaller, and I'm glad these ones ended up working out. I do need to think about getting some smaller levers here. That might be an upgrade on the way, and these Oxford grips do work, so I'm psyched. I'm gonna try everything out for a couple weeks and see if I need to make any. I'm sure I will need to make some minor adjustments. Time to head to the car wash and wash all the WD-40 off this thing.